43.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're keeping it real tonight.
Oh.
Don't you want to just be a trigger? Anyways, hello. Oh, hey, Ramen. What's up? Good to see you.
We will read Culprit visual novel.
Yes, I remember that is a thing that existed, and I said this on Twitter very specifically, that at the request of one B. Jiki, common stream accompanier, she's literally here right now, I decided to make it a funny goal. We will read the Catboy Otome visual novel, which I believe is like a Nekopara spin-off type thing, when we get to 100 followers.
Why 100 followers?
Because it's
that's a milestone.
It's an obligatory milestone.
Yeah, it should have been 50 subscribers.
Hey, does this mean I get to read the narration?
Yes, and we will all be the hunky boys.
Kaneko, I'll make it as gay as you want.
I'll make sure to perform my best voice.
I guess I'll do the very young boy.
I don't know who's in this game or how it goes.
There's also another funny thing that happens. If someone has like pennies left over, say something funny and then donate like 1 or 2 of them to me just to show what happens.
Please
go ahead and throw your pennies.
Throw a penny.
Many pennies.
It'll be hilarious.
I would say, if I ever voice one of the Catboys, I will make sure that the voice is infertile and dominant.
Oh jeez, is it really that quiet? Holy fuck.
It's really quiet.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it has a text-to-speech dude, doing the thing now.
Boy, I hope no one donates dropping racial slurs.
I assume you have that filtered.
It should filter. I hope.
I hope. Fucking.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the volume up on that a little bit for all of them.
Do you want me to say the thing, or?
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
Okay.
I can't hear I can't hear the notification thing.
I'm changing it. Don't worry. Sorry, I don't have a good. I don't. No, you say it again, please.
Wait, what?
I know.
Did you want me to say it again, or?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay.
I have the audio maxed out on the text to speech.
It's very light.
Like my.
Oh, you know why? Because it's tied to my headset. That's probably why. Oh wait, it's tied to the gaming stuff.
Just turn down everything else.
I do worry that it might ruin some moments.
Well then, well look, whatever. You know, I want to make.
No, but if they actually do that timing, we just turned it over to Twitch. Ned.
Yeah, it could probably. Fucking
horrible, serious,
crying, and then someone donates in chat. Yo, I totally like motorboat and Beatrice titties. And it's like, damn, dude, we're having an emotional moment, and you just.
Man, I wish. Orange, you know how is there an off and on switch? For the text to speech.
Oh, then
if we get to a very serious scene, hit the off switch and.
Noir, stop shilling Beaglesaurus. If I'm not shilling my fix, then you're not shilling yours.
Oh my god.
Well, you can chill your stuff.
Yeah, you can chill your stuff.
You do.
Shit. Go ahead.
I don't want to shill myself on your stream. I don't want to.
We are 100% for shilling.
I shill my shit. We share shit here.
Golden Witch Gaming very highly promotes shilling on our channels.
We all shill our stuff.
I'm comfortable doing that. I'd rather shill on my own stream. I don't want to go ahead.
He shills seashells down by the seashore. Wait, fuck.
All viewers read Baki. It's great.
Shell seashells down at the seashells.
God, I have explicitly said to Orange, man, I am glad I can piggyback off of you if I ever need to get clout.
I just felt like if I did anything like that, I'd be taking away some of his clout or anything.
Kaneko?
I don't care.
Can be shared.
Awfully bold to assume y'all have clout like that.
We're trying to get it, okay?
We're just a random group of people on Discord.
Yeah, and at least none of us seem to know Lulu.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, thank God we aren't fucking Lulu.
Hold on. Allow post to
on
stream? Should we bring that up on stream? No. Probably shouldn't.
I've said it before.
To be fair, I will be
Just
fair.
like
Nobody
Pandora's
said
box
that we
was
should
opened
not
by her.
bring that up on stream to the other people. The only people who know not to bring it up on stream were the people who knew what it even was before today.
Yeah?
I mean, Final Fantasy X is allowed on Twitch. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let us go on with the visual
Wait,
novel.
Ooh.
Very true. We should go back on with the visual novel. I
I have not seen anybody playing Final Fantasy X on here. You're telling me they do?
No.
I mean, like,
I'm saying
every
that it's
game in the
legal to
universe.
play on
Read this
Twitch.
right?
It's not on the ban list, so it's been played on here eventually.
Lulu Boo
Imagine
bad.
means
Let's
some
play the
other
game.
Lulu.
Umineko is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Very true.
Are we? Yeah, there's some people in.
I mean, technically speaking, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A live
The people
studio
in the front,
Robin.
the first three
We're in a
rows
studio,
are a
probably.
splash zone.
Careful, it gets wet in here.
We don't need a laugh track like fucking Big Bang Theory.
We're better
You
than
mean the
them.
canned laughter?
Our whole
Buzz it.
universe.
Oh yeah, all the
Bazinga.
dead people from the 1950s.
Bazinga. Awkward silence.
You know all the
Living
people,
people
who
from
do
the
those laugh tracks
1950s
are
aren't
dead,
much better.
right?
It's really
You're hearing
sobering,
a bunch of
actually.
people
Why would
laughing
you
at 'em.
fucking phrase it like that? You do know
I
all these
mean, I
people are
guess.
dead, right? You could have just said those people are old as shit.
No, they are dead. That's literally the joke. It's a bunch of ghosts laughing at them.
All
Big
right,
Bang
so-
Theory sucks.
Wait, are you talking about your creepypasta theory for Big Bang Theory?
What?
It's not.
What?
Zach, what?
Joshy, what?
I
You're
don't
the one
fucking
bringing
know.
it up, Joshi. You're the
I'm
one
not
bringing it
bringing it
up.
Oh,
Shit, you
okay,
know
yeah,
what
that.
I'm doing?
I'm
Alright,
talking
yeah,
reality.
that
You're
explains
bringing it
why.
all
It's
it.
just
all
really
it.
fucking.
Boys, you're all gorgeous, okay?
What?
What?
Okay.
I understand the joke, Kaneko. I appreciate
You
it.
know who's gorgeous? Crom from the hit video game Fire Emblem
Fire
Awakening.
Emblem Awakening.
But you know what else is?
Yo, what else is
Look at this
gorgeous?
man's chin.
Look,
Olivia,
look,
right,
I
Noah?
get it. We
She's
all
pretty
want to be
cool.
unnamed maiden who fucks Crom if you don't pick out his wife for him.
I don't.
What, you wouldn't want to be with a man like Crom?
He's
Hey.
Wait,
Wait,
what?
what?
No, he's not.
He has a
Kaneko.
child, though.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah,
Oh.
literally a child.
He was asking Kaneko.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know, Orange. Let's just get to the visual novel.
Yeah,
the
we're
main
getting to the
story
visual
plot of
novel.
Awakening is that fucking Crom
Joshi?
knocks up a lady.
Remember what I said to you before. Just sandbag it and just move on.
No, I'm talking about Fire Emblem now.
No, let's talk about Umineko. Let's start.
Okay.
I'm loading it up.
God, we're gonna get copyright stricken!
No, we
Yeah, we
aren't.
might.
That's actually true.
No, we
believe
are.
it or
We're gonna be
not.
fine.
For the tune? The tune is not
There's not a
copyrighted.
lot of visual
Yeah,
novel.
wait,
reading on the stream.
Shelly. I was watching Wooly play
Look,
Halo
look.
one time on. Wait. This is actually something that should probably be known. I was watching Wooly play Halo that one time. They were playing the Halo theme on the bongos, and that got muted on Twitch. It could recognize the bongo theme.
Guys, I hate to break it to you, but like every time I upload a fucking VOD of Umineko on YouTube, 15 trillion tracks get copyright struck. We would have been taken out by now.
But is it like bullshit that we did, or just the game?
No, it's the game
It's the game,
soundtrack.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Twitch and
Realistically speaking, we should be dead, but we aren't.
What was it? Fucking World End Dominator got fucking claimed.
Frankly,
We
it's some
should-
logic that we could do without.
We're not dead yet.
ZTS would
even
betray me
Metallica
like
got
this.
by Metallica.
I can't believe ZTS would betray me like this.
Okay,
Anyways,
last time on Umineko. Shit popped off super hard, man! There was a gigantic
Wizard
chess battle
fight.
and there were giant towers.
Oh shit! I need water. I'll be back in like about 10 seconds.
I
yeah, I'm
hope
doing some audio.
There were
audio-
big
crazy in
towers
10
and
seconds.
I'm doing some audio finagling to make Umineko not as uproariously loud as it normally is, so that way I can
I'm
actually
just-
like play shit.
I'm sending Zaz images of a certain character. that cannot be named at the current juncture.
Just realized that last session, Umineko literally pulled off an Omai Shinderu literally without the meme. It was just, you're actually the dead one.
Dude, it pulled off Fate Stay Night while not being Fate Stay Night.
Her lewdness was a great nightmare. Her anus.
I want more.
Her anus was defenseless.
I am drowning in a sea of pleasure that is Sakura.
You're drowning in that fucking puss.
Anyways. But, you know, because of how you've been fucking playing Danganronpa, I keep thinking of Sakura Ogami whenever I say that, so it's like, yes!
Well, that's the better Sakura.
I'm back, and I brought a bucket of popcorn I forgot I had in the...
Where is
If we play Sakura Hirano with Sakura Ogami, it would just be 100% better.
You want to make
Apparently
Fate
there
better?
was a
Put
spoiler
Sakura
fix there.
Ogami in it. Gummy. Fruit gummy. Put the fruit gummy in Fortnite.
Oh, that's an email.
That looks like the battle pass.
Okay,
As we start our visual novel.
It sounds like something that Eminem would say.
What?
Like that line of logic. Yeah, put the Eminem in Fortnite.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, I believe Umineko.
Speaking of Eminem, have any of you guys seen the Eminem animated show?
Cool.
What about the
Moving right along.
Anyways.
The thing is fucking hilarious because of how bad it is.
Continue.
We are doing
this situation is less than giving me
There would
worse
be
for this anticipation. So
Read!
Also, we have somebody joined into the server. Someone take care of his roles for him, please. Anyways, there would have been no way to tell this morning had come without opening a window and looking up at the cloudy sky, which became a tiny bit lighter. It wasn't a refreshing morning. All that could be heard was the sound of the rain, which hadn't stopped falling since last night, and the howl of the wind.
It's hard to imagine that it's morning. This horrible weather speaks for our hearts.
Yeah, it could be worse. At least it's just raining, not spears falling from the sky.
Oh, come on! Come on!
Whether it's rain or spears, it's coming down with a bang. Man, it's been a while since I've been here.
Physically.
It's already 6 o'clock. Oh, it's already 6 o'clock? Oh, well.
Sorry, 6 a.m.
Wow. I don't know what a fua is. I guess it's like a sigh.
Old man sitting down noise.
Yeah, let me fucking
It's like Peter Griffin dad noises.
Hey, Lois, I'm Ronald Kenjamin.
We're all ADD today, aren't we?
Listen, we need
this
content. Anyways.
Enough. Sorry, I was eating popcorn.
Ew.
After this, we got no measures we can take till the mystery 19th person, Beatrice, makes her move.
True. However, I believe we have anticipated every trick they might use against us.
That's right. As long as a traitor doesn't appear among the siblings, we should be able to deal with most situations. Haven't we talked about this enough? We've stayed up all night. I'm tired. You're right. How about taking a little rest after eating breakfast?
A good plan. Staying up all night is trying at our age.
As they all stretched, they enjoyed this unrefreshing morning as best they could.
I'll go wash my face or something. I probably look horrible.
What is that awful stench?
As soon as they exited into the corridor, Kyrie openly made a disgusted expression.
What is it? Hey, don't you smell something awful?
What's this stench? I can't stand it. I can't stand the sounds of those tickety-tocks coming from the walls.
Orange, you're hot and miking.
I mean, I don't know, shit.
I can hear Orange Gaming.
I'll hot mic you. We're doing something.
Orange Gaming.
I'm cold
We go.
miking.
We have a clean rep.
Oh yeah, after hearing those complaints, everyone stuck their heads out into the corridor. The stench was faint, but once people started commenting on it, it was clearly noticeable. Each of them went into the corridor, relying on their own sense of smell to tell them where the strange odor was coming from.
What in the world could it be? Let us have Genji deal with it. I believe he should already have arrived in the servant room to begin the morning preparations.
Indeed, please do. At the very least, it's difficult to imagine Goda making a breakfast that would cause such an odor.
Rudolph and the others searched for the source of the smell and determined that it was coming from underground, from the boiler room. But the door was locked and they couldn't check inside. At the same time, when Natsuhi's group was on its way to search for someone in the servant room, they noticed something strange near the parlor.
What is this? What a horrible prank! Who would do something like this?
On the door of the parlor, drawn in paint that looked like blood, was a strange thing that looked like a magic circle.
There's no one in the kitchen yet. What is that?
Ava's group, who'd thought the smell might be coming from the kitchen, had returned after confirming that no one was there and that the preparations for breakfast had not yet begun. Then they noticed the change to the parlor.
It's useless. Boiler room's locked. Wouldn't that be bad if something went wrong with the boiler? Has anyone spotted a servant?
Is one of those vulgar scribbles here too? There was another one on the door of the boiler room.
What's that? This creepy scribble isn't just here, but it's in other places too. Do you think this is the Witch of the Forest Beatrice's declaration of war, do you?
Hideyoshi tried to make fun of it, but staring at this creepy magic circle while listening to the wind and rain really made it seem like a message from a witch. The dripping of bright red paint made one think of blood, which made it even creepier. Hideyoshi tried to open the door, but it had been locked. As a general rule, the parlor wasn't locked. Someone had gone out of their way to lock it.
What does this mean? Could it be that while we were talking in the dining hall, someone secretly left this scribble? On the doors to the parlor and the boiler room? I'm sure the servants are behind this. We were together the whole time. We all have alibis. And they probably received some strange order from father and pulled this prank.
And there's also the case yesterday with Maria-chan's letter. It's really easy to suspect the servants are acting on Dad's orders and planning something. Anyway, where is everyone? I can't be playing hide and seek. Let's look for them.
Before that, I'm worried about the children. They are safe, right? I'll go and check, and while I'm there, I'll see if there aren't any servants there.
And let's split up. While you go to the guest house to see how the brats are doing, we'll investigate inside the mansion. I don't want to think about it. But maybe these creepy magic circles aren't just in the places we've found them already. We might be wrapped up in some bizarre game of fathers.
Stop.
I will go to him and hear the situation. Though I doubt he'll obediently listen to me.
The adults split up.
No.
As a result, they confirmed that the 4 children were safe in the so-called cousin's room, on the 2nd floor of the guest house. They had apparently stayed up late last night playing. All of them were snoring loudly, so Rosa decided not to wake them. Furthermore, Nanjo, who had returned early the previous night to rest, was also safe. It seemed he believed in the phrase, early to bed, early to rise, and had awoken refreshed. During this time, Kyrie and Hideyoshi searched for the servants. But they didn't find them. The servant room in the guest house was also empty.
The children are safe. They all stayed up too late last night.
The servants' room is empty. I looked at the shift chart, and this morning's shift began at 6 a.m. It should have started working by now.
The nap room is also empty. There were signs that had a futon had been slept in, but it wasn't warm.
Hey, isn't everyone's reasoning right on this? Wait.
Isn't everyone's reasoning right on? Oh, okay, yeah.
Reasoning.
Just the way that was spelled, like, made me not understand the sentence.
Hey, isn't everyone's reasoning right on this?
There you go.
This is probably a game of father set up. He must have left those creepy scribbles and hid them himself somewhere. Trying to make us do something.
Are you saying he's trying to see who's fit to succeed his wealth and the headship? Isn't that a bit... No. It might not be strange if Father was behind something like that.
After all, Father loves doing things on a big scale. This might have been a finely tuned plan starting as far back as when the epitaph was hung up in the hall.
Why are characters being smart? Not used to this!
Well, this is the only time where all the adults are alive, you know?
I know,
Also,
but...
like...
Wait, who's our kill count right now?
Every servant
all
except for
servants.
Nanjo.
Oh,
Yep.
Alright. Servant's time.
He's not a servant, he's just a doctor.
Those 6 people.
In that case, I wonder if they'll give us an announcement of the game or some explanation of it. It certainly would be nice if an envelope with the crest like the one handed to Maria-chan were to appear.
I'm here to
Okay, now they're just calling it out as it is.
I'm here to announce the nonary game.
That's right. Maybe Nissan and the rest have found something like that in the mansion.
Dr. Nunch. Wait, no, that's Hideyoshi.
Is Dr. Nanjo like a
Me,
Pokemon?
Dr. Nanjo.
George.
Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one.
I call him
Nanjo
Dr.
Gaming.
Nanjo.
Hello,
Nanjo like a
it's me,
Pokemon?
I'm here, I am
Yeah.
on screen.
Dr. Nanjo. Have you heard anything about this?
My apologies. Man, I need to remember what Nanjo sound like. My apologies, I have no idea what is going on. And yet,
Give you a thumbs up.
thank you. And yet, yes, certainly. I could have easily imagined Kenzo-san planning something on a big scale.
Shouldn't we go back to the mansion for now? Maybe they found something over there.
Sorry, just something about talking to myself.
You get used to it.
Get used to it.
You really do get used to it.
If I won't be in the way, I shall go too.
I'll stay here. The children are sleeping upstairs. We don't know what's happening. We cannot leave them alone. That's right. I'll stay with Rosa-san and watch over the place. Would you tell that to my husband?
Rosa and Kiryu remained in the guest house. Hideyoshi went with Nanjo and returned again to the mansion. At the same time, in the mansion. In a way that was hard to believe, maybe we shouldn't say in a way that gave him a bad feeling. Rudolph's prediction was spot on. The same magic circle graffiti that had been drawn on the doors to the boiler room and the parlor had been found in multiple places throughout the mansion.
Anarchy. How's Dad? Did you find something? It was no use. I received no response. I tried putting my ear against the door, but I couldn't sense anyone.
There's no sign of any of the servants. Where in the world did they disappear to? This isn't funny. Father and his servants are hiding, and there are strange magic circles all over the mansion. What in the world is happening?
There weren't only magic circles on the door to the boiler room and the door to the parlor. There were 2 on the second floor, and 1 on the third floor for a total of 5. They were all the same magic circle, and all of the doors had been locked, so they couldn't check inside the rooms.
Anyway, let's do something about the boiler room first. It'd be bad if something broke down and caught fire or exploded. So we need the key.
It should be in the key box in the servant room.
They fished through the key box. Because each of the servants carried their master keys around, those weren't kept there. However, all the individual keys should have been there.
I can't believe they managed to fit so many keys in there.
It isn't here. No matter how much we look, the key to the boiler room isn't here.
Look, Anarchy. Only the keys to the rooms with those magic circles drawn on them are totally missing.
It's true. How bothersome. It's as though someone didn't want us to go into the rooms with the magic circles. No. They went to all the trouble of making those magic circles obvious, so maybe they wanted us to enter.
I think it's the latter. This isn't a movie, so breaking down the door is probably impossible. Smashing a window might do the trick, though.
For a while, Cross pondered over whether the situation really called for smashing a window. At that time, Kiyoshi and Nanjo returned. There was nothing strange in the guest house, and the children were safe. They told the others that Rosa and Kyrie had stayed to watch over the place.
Good morning.
Big boys on
I heard something strange has happened.
Good morning, Dr. Nanjo. I apologize for waking you so early in the morning.
Waking.
Waking.
Wake.
Wink.
What is it?
Wake gaming.
Did you find a letter or something? I was sure you'd have found something like that by now.
You're right. I also believe this to be a massive joke or game of fathers. But if that's the case, there should be some letter telling us about it. Like the letter that was given to Maria-chan. Simple as that.
One of Maria Chan's letter actually was the announcement, telling us that the game was on. The rules of the game, try solving the riddle of the epitaph, have already been made clear. Then what might the 5 magic circles we found in the mansion represent? And the missing servants?
Natsuhime-san. How many servants were there today in total? Genji, Goda. 5 of them. But why?
So there are 5 servants. And there are also 5 magic circles. It's probably a coincidence, but I don't like it.
Nissan. Let's break a window. We should check and see what's inside.
We have no choice. Do it neatly.
Cross made his decision and gave permission to smash a window. He decided that for the first room they would break into, it should be the parlor on the first floor, where the windows would be easiest to reach. They had hoped to peek in through the window. The curtains were down so they couldn't see inside. Rudolph wandered around the garden, trying to find something that would be good for smashing the window. Eventually, he found a rock bigger than a fist and came back.
You don't have to smash the whole thing. Just open it enough so you can reach the lock.
Don't get your hopes up, okay?
Rudolph raised the rock and hit the glass with it several times.
Oh, the chapter's over already?
Eventually, he succeeded in opening a hole big enough that he could unlock it from the outside. Covering his hands with a handkerchief, he stuck his hand through the hole and cautiously unlocked it.
We should probably cover it with packing tape later.
That's redneck!
The rain will get blown in.
Now, how am I gonna fix this? When he suddenly opened the window, the wind and rain made the curtain dance around violently.
We have fun here.
That curtain was blown to the side. They could see into the parlor they knew well. They were a little relieved.
I'm muting myself.
They thought there might be another bizarre magic circle inside the room. Or possibly the traces of some creepy ceremony. In any event, they didn't want to hang around out in the rain. The 6 of them, Kraus, Natsuhi, Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Nanjo, entered the parlor as a group.
I'm good now.
It seems that nothing in particular has changed.
What's wrong, Shannon? Wait. Are you okay? What happened to you?
Blood. Wait, no. Blood.
We better go there.
I don't know what voice I used there.
There's blood.
Nacho, take a look at this.
It's like Eloy from the Team 4-Star D&D thing.
Eloy? Yeah, I don't watch that.
It's blood.
Hey, Shannon.
Okay, I can't do that
You
anymore.
are you okay?
That.
Answer me.
You mustn't shake her. I will examine her condition now.
She had been in the shadow of the sofa. They had noticed her until they'd entered the room. Oh, fuck. Shannon was lying there. Shannon was lying on the floor, her chest stained bright red with blood.
Hey! Battler, where are you? Look! Shannon's corpse is turned up, see? I won't bully you anymore, so come on out. Oh, there you are. Cheeky. What are you doing clutching at your head in a place like that?
Rattler was crouching under the table, holding his head.
Is he seriously just hiding?
His pitiful figure made it plainly clear that he didn't want to see anything. He didn't want to hear anything. Had he heard Beatrice's sneering voice? Could he not hear? Or was he pretending that he couldn't hear? In any event, it was clear that he'd closed up his heart like a shell.
Perhaps you tormented him too much, milady. After showing him all that and demanding a counter-argument, I can understand why he'd want to mope around.
Hey, Battler. If you can't argue back, then resign, okay? It's your turn. If you don't make some move or pass, or else give up, we won't get anywhere. What's that? I can't hear you?
I said be quiet! Shut up! A witch? Magic? Why don't you just do whatever you want? I don't believe any of it! Damn it! Don't talk to me! Don't show me anything! Disappear! Just disappear! Don't get that annoying face anywhere near me! Beatrice winced reflexively at Battler's sudden rage.
Even if you say that, if you don't finish your turn, then my turn won't come. In fact, I'm the one asking you to stop boring me.
Who cares? Be quiet! Shut up! Who cares about your game? I won't go along with it! If your turn won't come until mine's finished, then just wait for all eternity! I don't know! I don't get it! I won't accept witches or magic. I won't accept something so screwed up! Whoa! I said don't even talk to me!
Well, damn.
Okay.
I don't know what's what anymore. After being shown something that's screwed up, how could I resist? I wandered aimlessly through the rose garden. It was raining and windy. It didn't mean my body got wet. There was just a feeling of isolation as I wandered amidst the wind and rain without an umbrella. Maybe I lost in that person's game a long time ago. Actually, didn't we already have a clear winner and loser in the last game? After all, I surrendered for a time. That's why the world was tinted with witches and magic. Right now, Rokenjima's in a different world, where witches stride around openly and fire off strange spells. It is a matter of accepting or denying it. Maybe I mistakenly assumed that I was playing a game on an even footing with Beato. Maybe I was already defeated in the last game. This is just the signing ceremony of my surrender. A minute ago, a terrible battle unfolded in the Rose Garden. I saw it with my own eyes. I kicked the ground. Obviously, the ground was hard. And water from a puddle splashed. Several towers split the ground, spreading like high-rise buildings. The more I kicked the ground, the more I felt like that couldn't possibly have happened. But for that very reason, I couldn't explain with anything other than magic anymore. If it was a closed room with a key shut up inside, I'd know it was probably an extension of stuff you'd often see in detective novels. But that big flashy thing? Ah, damn it! Noir, too.
Noir.
It seems my discipline has caused you much trouble.
Disciple.
Damn it.
Whatever. Huh? It's you. Someone suddenly spoke to me, so I turned around. And in the Rose Garden Arbor was the predecessor Beatrice, whom Beatrice had supposedly defeated a short while ago. I'm sure you died. So, you survived.
Oh no, I did die. Now I am nothing more than a defeated chess piece, loitering outside the chessboard.
You're Beato's teacher, right? So in other words, you're a witch, too.
Yes, that is correct.
So, basically, that means witches really do exist. The only one who can defeat her is in me. That'd be you, since you can use awesome magic, right? I'm just useless now. Nothing I can do anymore.
Oh, my. Have you surrendered completely?
What do you mean, surrender? How am I supposed to explain that? Towers sprouting and falling? Huge giants holding shields and throwing spears? Just remembering makes me feel like I'm going insane! We're way past the point of trying to reason this all out, aren't we? We've left the level of tricks and things that can be explained with human culprits. Ah, damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it!
Calm yourself. I'm nothing more than a piece on that child's game board. After being removed from that board, I'm no longer a being capable of doing anything. But you are that child's opponent. As long as you do not give up on your own, you will always have the power to strike back.
Shut up! Weren't you also reciting strange spells and summoning towers and spears? What do you mean, strike back? Think you'll teach me some magic too? Make me take part in that massive magic battle?
If you wish, I could teach you a bit about magic.
Oh, just what I wanted. Please, give me some awesome magic to smash through her chest in one blow. Don't screw with me!
I hear that in Japanese magic, there is a ceremony used to pray for rain. Do you know of it?
A rain ceremony? A thing where you throw stuff into a fire and dance as an offering. That's not magic. They say that the fire causes an updraft which makes rain clouds gather. That's supposed to be an accepted scientific phenomenon.
Oh? I believed it to be a form of Eastern magic. But is that not the case? I believed people offered sacred fire to the heavens, as well as a dance of respect. so that your entreaty for rain would reach the hearts of the gods.
Maybe people did that long ago. But most occult things like that have a scientific explanation.
Why do things burn? Isn't that because phlogiston is contained in the material?
No, things burn because of a chemical reaction. Lavoisier abolished... Lavoisier abolished the phlogiston theory.
Phlogiston.
Phlogiston, there. Phlogiston.
Why does heat transfer through objects? Isn't that because caloric is contained in the material?
I'm pretty sure that was abolished by Joule. Heat is energy, not a substance.
You have studied well. Your knowledge is accurate.
It's just some trivia.
Phlogiston, caloric, and eventually ether and God's love. All are powerless before a scientific explanation. In the past, I was told that an apple falling from a tree was thanks to God's love, so that humans would be given food.
So even gravity is the love of God. Well, it's probably the remnants from the period when religion, rather than science, was used to explain everything.
That is correct. In the past, humans called the limits of their knowledge, ignorance itself, magic. Like the rain ceremony we were just talking about. Did the people of ancient times realize that there was a scientific explanation? That fire gave rise to heat to cause updrafts that summoned clouds? Even without understanding these things, they at least knew the result.
That probably happens a lot. That stuff called knowledge of the ancestors. Even without understanding the reason, through long experience, they knew that they'd achieve results. Phenomena whose principles they didn't understand are probably the same as magic to them. Like this person just said, ancient people who didn't understand those principles probably believed that. Through the rain ceremony, their wishes would reach the heavens and make rainfall. To them, that was certainly magic, as long as they didn't understand updrafts.
If you push an electrical switch, a light turns on. Children do not know the scientific principles behind why a light bulb lights up. They only know the result when they push the switch. If they obtain such a result without knowing the principles, doesn't that make it magic to them?
That's pretty interesting. Well, logically that's true. For example, I don't have a clue why the brawn tube's in a TV show a picture. Still, I think it's totally normal to see things shown on the TV. Even if I don't understand the principle behind a brawn tube, I at least know that if I push the switch, I can watch TV. It's exactly the same as having a rain ceremony without understanding updrafts. In other words, even if I don't know the principles, even TV is the same as magic. Or even magic itself, I guess.
Do you know the structure of brawn tubes? Have you ever seen one taken apart and looked inside?
Nope. I think I read about it in a book or something once, but it was complicated and I didn't have a clue. I think when the electrons hit a fluorescent material, it creates luminescence or something like that.
That book lied. Actually, there are small people called gremlins shut up inside the brawn tubes. And they do their work with magic.
Huh? Don't be stupid! There's no way that's true!
That's pretty good.
It's all the gremlins' faults.
How can you deny it if you've never looked inside a brawn tube?
Remember, everybody, thank your TV gremlins whenever they turn the channel on for you. Turn the TV on for you.
Hey, does this mean our mental gremlins are the same as brawn tubes?
No. No.
Yes.
Actually,
Don't forget, don't feed them past midnight either.
Yeah.
Enough about
don't feed your
Schrodinger's
mind
gremlin.
gremlins after midnight.
Enough about Schrodinger's gremlin.
Alright, anyways, go on.
Comedy!
I've never looked inside, but I can say for sure that small people like that definitely don't exist.
And then a tiny elephant somehow walks next to him in a fountain and just goes.
No, it's the pocket hippo.
Yo, it's Fanfi from Pokemon.
Wait, what was the thing from that Canadian commercial? Was it like a pocket hippo or something hippo?
Pocket hippos!
It was like a tiny hippo.
Pocket hippo.
I just made a fucking Looney Tunes reference. I'm having the time of my life.
Hey.
Continuing. Come on.
Since there are no
house hippo.
brawn tubes here, that is impossible to prove.
Yeah, it's impossible to prove right now. But later I can take apart a TV somewhere and show you, and instantly win the argument.
So, put another way, my magical theory that gremlins are shut up inside the brawn tubes and display the picture with magic is impossible to disprove until we can verify the contents of a brawn tube, correct?
What the hell? Is this one of those? I'm trying to say it's a devil's proof. That's a favorite trick of you witches.
A devil's proof is a bit of sophistry, one that takes advantage of the fact that negative facts are impossible to prove.
Fuck.
However, it is different from my brawn tube's metaphor. That could be resolved simply by taking apart a single television.
Yeah, you're right. It isn't really a devil's proof.
You have proposed a scientific theory, and I have proposed a magical one. One of those is the truth. And which one it is can be ascertained the moment you look inside a brawn tube. However, until the instant that happens, we cannot deny each other's theories. So, even though only one truth exists, until you look into the brawn tube, you can have two conflicting truths existing at the same time.
Oh.
You have a realm in which two truths can exist simultaneously, even though there must be only one truth in existence.
Is the cat in the box alive or dead? If you open the box, you will learn the answer. You will learn the truth. However, until you open the box, you can claim that the cat is alive, and you can also claim the cat is dead. Both claims are the correct truth according to the people making them. And even though the two sides are in conflict, neither can win in the argument as long as the box remains unopened. In other words, two truths can exist at the same time. Even though there can only be one cat in the box, it's packed with a living cat and a dead cat, forming a strange separate world. This is what Reconstruction is now. This island is now a different world where a scientific theory and a magical one can exist at the same time. To a resident of the world of science, such as yourself— oh, this is actually Virgilia doing it. Oh.
It may feel as though this island has been sucked into a world of magic. That might not be wrong, but it is not accurate. Strictly speaking, it has been moved from the world of science to the gap between that world and the world of magic. So at a glance, it appears to you as though the world is tilted towards the magical side. But in reality, this island is now in a perfectly impartial position with relation to those two opposing worlds.
I don't really get it. The gap between reality and magic? A perfectly impartial world. As that. Hasn't pretty much everything that's happened been totally not in my favor?
Then perhaps you could think of it this way. This is a trial. Think of it as a court where you and Beatrice are laying out opposing claims. Call it a brawn tube trial. Your opponent claims there are tiny people inside the brawn tubes, explaining one thing after another, talking about the lives of these tiny people, what they look like, what type of magical power they have. And what do you do?
Well, I study in a library and argue back by explaining how brawn tubes are constructed.
At this moment, both your claim and that child's claim exist in the court at the same time. If you find your opponent's claim convincing, it might sound like truth to you. It might look like truth to you. That is exactly what you saw. At this moment on Rekenjima, winches and magic certainly may exist as truth.
Winches?
He said witches?
With them.
I thought he said,
With
I
them.
thought he
Winches.
said winches.
Certainly
Like,
may exist
I
as
also thought he said winch.
yeah.
However,
I heard
until the moment when the cat's box is opened, that world is an uncertain wave function. The entire situation can be explained by both sides at the same time. However, there is one truth. That set of truths shrinks with observation. And countless truths are weeded out to become one truth. It is like when, in court, the judge hands down his judgment. The two truths from the prosecutors and the defense's claims are reduced in number by the judgment and become one.
Say it in your words. The island right now is the world before looking into a brawn tube, right? Therefore, the science theory and the magic theory cannot be denied. If they cannot be denied,
Both can exist as truth. Therefore, both witches and magic can exist. However, at the same time, your opinion of denial also exists as truth. It is a world where two conflicting things can exist at once. And it is a world where conflicting truths cannot disprove each other. Have you managed to understand?
in other words, no matter how much awesome magic Beato shows me, it's only a claim of a magical theory, and it doesn't disprove my position. So, no matter what kind of magic Beato shows me in this world, it cannot become proof that magic exists.
That is right. That child might even try to explain an apple falling from a tree with magic. Perhaps by shaking her staff and magically plucking the apple. Then claiming to be the thing that made it drop down to the earth. However, that would be nothing more than another claim. None of your opponent's claims can prevent you from making yours. In that sense, this world is quite impartial to both sides.
I get it. Still, by that argument, if I show a sound argument with my science theory, and it collides head-on with her magic theory, I also can't win against her. On top of that, the final judgment won't come until we peek into the brawn tube. Where is the brawn tube in this world? Because it exists, there should be no reason for us to argue. Why don't we just get along and peek into the brawn tube? If there really is a tiny person in there, it's my complete loss. Otherwise, it's my victory. Why do I have to hold this debate without looking into the brawn tube?
That itself is the game you are being challenged to. Maybe instead of court I should use chess as an example. There, victory and loss are not determined by a judge. You who fight will decide it yourselves.
Can you win an argument with an opponent in a screwed-up world? Multiple truths can exist at the same time.
In actual fact, didn't you lose an argument and surrender like this? That is all the advice I can give you now. If you wish, I can occasionally offer you counsel.
Sure. Thanks. That really helps. I'll avenge you.
Ho 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 ho. Thank you. I look forward to it.
What's your name?
Beatrice used to be my name, but now that I have surrendered it, I do not have a name. So, I shall take a temporary name. Virgilius. No.
Yeah.
How about Virgilia?
Virgilia. Like Valkyria? Wasn't that a name for a goddess that shows up in myths? Also a video game, I think.
No. It means the guide who leads the way to Beatrice.
I get it.
I will guide you to that child who waits at the summit of Mount Purgatory. It ought to be a fitting name for such a guide.
Who would have guessed I'd accept help from a witch when I'm trying to deny witches? I see. This is a contradictory world where different claims can exist at the same time. I guess that's cool. It's almost funny.
I am borrowing that child's words, but you are truly like a phoenix. Your will to fight has already been revived. Come, if your heart is prepared, return to your opponent. Return to the chessboard where that child is seated. I look forward to seeing how far you can fight with my disciple.
Yeah, watch it. I won't listen to her babbling anymore. I'll coolly fight to the end. I definitely won't get provoked by her any longer.
Then let us return to the seat of the battle.
Return to the stage of history.
Oh, Battler! Where did you run off to? And I thought losers never came back for more.
Get ready for the next battle. Sorry to keep you waiting. I've cooled my head a little. Cooled.
Second.
And did you think of a response to that pleasant, thrilling, refreshing, highly acclaimed, wonderful fantasy battle between teacher and me? Isn't that impossible to explain without fantasy?
Milady, did you just promise to be kind and act more gracefully?
Did you promise to shave that mustache? Oh no, oh no. I just got in such a good mood when I saw Battler's face, you see. Look. How are you going to respond to that battle just now, Battler?
Battle? What battle?
What?
In this rose garden. Where do you see those spears? And towers you made lying around? They aren't here, are they? I know it was just like the inside of a brawn tube.
The inside of a brawn tube? What in the world are you talking about now?
At this very moment, there's nothing at all in the Rose Garden. Towers may have been spread with magic until a short while ago. It's only the case until we see what's inside the Brawn Tube. That magical battle is nothing more than your interpretation, your claim. The fact that there's absolutely nothing to see here right now proves it. This is how I argue back about the witch's battle just now. Right now, there's anything here, which proves that nothing happened.
Come now, of course I can't make a huge mess when it's only the first twilight. And I am rather fond of that rose garden, you see. To prevent any damage, I had the fight occur inside a barrier. So it's only natural that it wouldn't have any influence on reality. So there.
That's your claim? Yeah. Well, I guess that works. However, at this point in time, there is nothing in the Rose Garden. Nothing stands in the way of my claim that there was no magic done here.
Wait. Can you deny my magic with a mess like that? It is impossible to prove that magic does not exist. It's a devil's proof.
At this point in time, this garden is the truth. The instant you look inside, the tiny people inside the Brawn Tube will vanish. There's no traces of magic here at all. So this battle between you witches did not take place.
What the... That counter? That power... Could it be...
Have you forgotten, milady? It is the multi-layered world's reduction technique. The power of a finite witch. The counter to the power of an endless witch. Only an endless witch can perceive it, and it is the most effective against such a witch.
Hold on a second.
Man, Battler just bullshitting right now.
What do you mean?
It just like... Well, I mean, it looked like he saw everything. So it's like, oh, but no, you just interpreted it that way.
What?
What?
He saw the anime battle,
talking
right?
about?
Battler saw the anime battle, right?
Well, Bone, okay, think about this from a meta-narrative perspective. We saw Meta Battler perceive the battle. But did Battler see the battle?
Seemed like he was reacting to it.
Or did he happen to think he saw something?
I think you're maybe misinterpreting what I say.
Okay.
The Battler that is behind this, this veneer, the one right, this one, he saw it. But, actually, yeah, Roboot got it. See?
Yeah.
Share with the class, Roboot. Share with the class.
Did Battler on Rokenjima see the battle?
Yes, thank you. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if this Battler currently talking to them sees it.
Because he's seeing what Beatrice is showing him.
Ah. Alright, yeah, sure, alright, cool.
Great, cool. Say the line, Con.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just think it's funny that we're gonna say it outright.
Schrodinger's cat box?
Yeah!
That old hag of a witch. What an uncalled for hit!
We lost time. Including the 5 servants and grandfather, there are 6 corpses. Let me check the scene. I've been trudging along, wasting time. From now on, I'll speed things up, okay? Take a seat, Beatrice! It's finally the first twilight, isn't it? Let's start the real thing. Show me what you've got!
Did this just turn into Ace Attorney?
I mean, it always kind of has been.
Always has been.
I'm cool with it.
Gods play dice with the universe. It's your turn. Killing one. Reach heaven through violence.
I have a question for some people once we hit the discussion time, because I really want to ask something.
Shoot your shit.
Well, I'll wait until discussion because it'll
Yeah,
be
okay.
revolved around discussion.
Who killed Hannibal?
Oh, pardon me.
Forget what the adults expected. At least for us kids. There's supposed to be a fun couple days with the cousins to deepen their friendship. However, when we woke up, there was an unbelievably cruel reality waiting for us. Jordaniki and Jessica were crying over Shannon and Cannon-kun's deaths. Right now, everyone who was alive had gathered in the lobby on the first floor of the guest house.
Oh, dang, new environment.
Yeah, this is the lobby of the guest house.
This place is nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. And there were 12 people here. Unbelievable, right? They were 18 until yesterday. And then one night, a third of that number had lost their lives. I eventually sobered up from my agitation, and along with my lack of sleep from being woken up so early in the morning, I was beginning to feel a faint sense of unreality. I want to think this is some kind of bad dream. My cheap escapism keeps telling me that over and over. Maria had gone back to sleep on the sofa Rosa was sitting in. Rather than having nerves of steel, she probably genuinely hadn't had enough sleep. The adults were holding items from was apparently grandfather's collection.
That gun is so tiny.
Hey, Joshy or whoever, can you get the one sprite I'm thinking of ready? You know exactly what sprite I'm thinking of that appears.
Are you talking? Yeah, you know what? I'll go get it.
Yeah,
I
thank
believe.
you very much.
Is it off Hideyoshi?
It's a Hideyoshi.
No. Though I guess the hair and suit are compensating for something after all.
Short barrel Winchester rifles.
Very short.
Apparently relics from the time he'd been obsessed with westerns. There were 4 guns altogether. Those have been split up among the 4 siblings. Uncle Kraus, Aunt Ava, my dad, and Aunt Rosa. Also, hey, shout out to Rudolph. He made it to day 2 for the first time.
Yeah, now he's packing heat that's smaller than his wiener.
Hey. Wait, that implies he's got a huge ass dick.
Wait,
So he
no!
just carries a
Yo, Con, did you just say Rudolph is hung low?
I can't believe
Rudolph is
not
packaged
usually that big.
he's packing heat in multiple
No, I meant to
regards.
say he has a tiny dick.
No, yeah, too bad.
No, you can't. Rudolph confirmed has big cock.
Rudolph confirmed
no
to be a
takesy back.
mutant.
Also not his gun.
Oh, god damn it.
His cock is longer than a sawed-off Winchester rifle.
I mean, he is
Wait a minute,
backwards.
No.
Con just doing the nice cock meme from Crocs the Groove.
Rewind that.
Hey, nice cock. Bro, you look huge.
Oh, man.
Pepper boxes filled with bullets lay on the table, and the siblings were silently loading them.
It's a little scary.
The size of my penis.
Even now, touching one of these, running my hands on it, I get the feeling Dad will yell, "Don't touch that!"
Rudolph penis hour.
Rudolph penis comic.
This is just some hard wood.
Also,
I'm working with.
don't worry, Ramen. I'm the Rudolph simp here.
Oh my god.
Hey, actually.
Oh, hey, hell yeah.
Hey.
Now,
Make that funnier.
You know what? Rudolph is probably the most attractive sons out of all of
I
them.
wish we had like a big artist fan that like could draw this.
Well, you want someone to draw Rudolph's huge cock?
Yes, I want someone to
Rudolph's
draw-
massive penis.
Why do I feel called out?
I want to see
penis.
his like freakish mutant.
Watch the Rule 34 counter for Rudolph go from 0 to 1 via this clip.
Dun 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 dun. All right. Anyway, okay. Rudolph
can't
penis
believe
hour
that-
over. Come on.
I can't believe you could
It's
have
over.
survived the first episodes if he used his cock as a weapon. Never mind.
Well, isn't that great?
Does this mean Kraus has penis envy?
No matter how much you touch them, you won't be hit again. Just don't touch them too much. They actually look even smaller in his hand.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like he
Why
has.
do they look so big
Like they
in
both have.
Rosa's hands? Is she like a manlet? A
Like
woman?
they
No, she has
Rosa,
hands.
stop handling your father's gun like that. It's weird.
Like they both have huge dicks, but Krause's is still smaller.
As Colin would say, never cock a man's gun, other man's gun.
God fucking damn it, I've been hit!
Flashback.
Also, like, it looks like a gun in her hand, like a rifle. It looks like a pistol. Is she just like tiny, or are they like fucking titans?
No, she's
She
just
just
a
has
woman.
tiny little Toko hands.
I mean, to be fair, Kraus seems like he's pretty thick.
Krause seems pretty wide. When Hody was holding that gun, he was like he seemed like broad.
Wide Kraus.
Anyways,
Wide
okay. Let's continue. Say the line, Con. Oh yeah, you got it. There it is. We'll show it to you later. Don't worry.
1 second. What the fuck with the picture of Christopher Calvin Atkins?
Yeah, little did we. Yeah, so it turns out that she also has a huge dick.
Wait, Rosa has a huge dick?
Yeah, she's holding the gun.
You people need to learn to shut up.
Wait, Colin was hinting at Rosa having fucking cock.
Fuck it, this is MILF
I was about to say something
Volume-
fucked
No,
up.
fuck it, this is MILF Alert Volume 2.
What? No,
No. Wait. All right, come on.
Oh, that's staying there. I was gonna delete it, but it's staying there.
Oh god.
All right, come on.
I wonder if Rosa can believe this.
Okay.
I don't think she can believe this.
Okay.
The two brothers are so envious of how she has the biggest cock.
Stop! Bit over.
Okay.
Cock.
I'm gonna strangle you when this is over, Josh.
Maria's father got very confused when Rosa asked him to bend over.
This is MILF Alert Volume 2, man.
All right,
Wait,
come
this
on.
isn't MILF Alert. Let's get to it.
Come on. Please.
Yes, enough about Rosa's Milky.
Okay.
Bit over.
Okay. I can't believe it. To think that father would meet this kind of end.
Run. Give me a second.
You got the giggles?
Yeah.
Oh, for the love of God.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Well, I never. I need to give the voice. Well, I never did expect Kinzo-san to die normally in his bed. But even so, it is too horrible. Wait, did they find Kinzo's body in the boiler room?
Dylan, do we have the information on the character deaths yet? We do
Okay.
not.
Oh wait, even the servants?
They will be confirmed eventually, I admit.
Okay, so it's unknown until it's known to the characters, then it's known to us.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Schrodinger's cat, I guess.
Awesome. Oh god, that actually hurt.
Hey. I wonder if that really was father. I think it might be a different person's corpse, used as a substitute to trick us. No, it was father without a doubt. You saw his toes, right? Generally speaking, there aren't that many humans with 6 toes on both feet.
Oh yeah, right. But that doesn't mean that such people don't exist. I've heard that polydactyly isn't that rare a disease. He was a man who liked large-scale tricks, right? He might have obtained a corpse from somewhere that had the same number of toes on both feet.
Ridiculous. Why would he do something like that?
I'd agree if it was a normal person. But this is father we're talking about. You can't be sure Kirie-san is talking nonsense.
After all, burning a corpse makes it hard to identify. Still, there should be a few ways to examine him from his teeth and bone structure. If the police investigated, of course they'd be able to know whose body it was right away. The problem is that we need a telephone engineer more than the police right now.
The boats probably won't come in this typhoon. So, will they arrive tomorrow? Most likely. The boat will come again at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Is her sprite supposed to be on screen right now, or...?
No, just like this.
Okay, just making sure.
Then I believe we will be able to contact the police. It's the same for us.
Okay, I think this might actually be glitched. Hold on, let me try saving and quitting really quickly.
Found a bug.
Okay, it's just like this.
After over, we can all go home.
Maybe this will sort itself out in a bit. I don't know.
Did he actually fuck off?
It is simply like this, according to Zaz.
Alright.
It's the same for us. And the culprit. Until the typhoon passes, this island will be closed off.
As for my parents' conversation, you could probably figure out the general gist. Let's explain the situation anyway. First, early that morning, in various places throughout the mansion, a total of 6 corpses, including grandfather and all the servants, had been found one after another. Here, we can now look at the information. Yoshirimiya Kinzo, discovered as a burnt corpse from the incinerator in the underground boiler room. There were no signs that he fought to get out of the incinerator. It seems reasonable to assume that he was burned after he was murdered. Too bad this time. Game over right at the very start.
Ouch.
Runaway Genji. Corpse discovered in the second floor VIP room. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. In appreciation for his many years of service, Genji shall be permitted to sleep in the VIP room. Shannon. Corpse discovered on the parlor on the first floor. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. For Shannon, the parlor, whose view of the rose garden, was beautiful on sunnier days. Cannon. Corpse discovered in the chapel. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The chapel for Cannon. Even after death, to keep on protecting the place important to the Lord. Gouda. Corpse discovered on the third floor servants' quarters. The murder weapon was assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The one to gain Kinzo's favor. The room next to the study is appropriate for him. Chio Kumasawa. Corpse discovered in the second floor guest room. The murder weapon was assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The seldom used guest room on the second floor was her secret napping spot.
So that's where she hid. They were all put in places where they...
Mm-hmm. No. One after another.
Okay,
First, grandfather had been in the boiler room, completely burnt. The servants had died, each shut up in the room, throughout the mansion that had magical circles written on them. Whatever. The cause of death for the servants was uncertain, but according to Dr. Nanjo's diagnosis, there's a high likelihood that it had been stabbed by something like a spear, or possibly shot with a gun. This is what the adults had started aiming themselves with Winchesters. And what made the situation even more chaotic was the fact that the telephones had become unusable. It was unknown if lightning had caused them to break down, or if the culprit had broken them. At any rate, since contact with the outside world had been cut off, we couldn't reach the police. So until this typhoon passes and a boat comes tomorrow morning, we'll have to protect ourselves. After all, Reconstruction is now isolated by the typhoon. And just as we're stuck on this island, so is the culprit. Two of the adults had stayed up all night holding the family conference in the mansion's dining hall the whole time. And yet the crime had occurred in the mansion. Everyone in the adults had been in an uproar over money. The murderer had been killing under the same roof. They say Aunt Natsuhi's been strict about locking the doors and windows at night, and yet some suspicious person had entered and left the mansion. The adults had decided that the inside of the mansion was too large to be safe. They had pulled up the guns and moved to the guest house where we had been. Where we be. Which brings us to the present. Joe Donaghy had begged to see Shannon Chan's corpse. The adults had refused, saying that he mustn't do so until the police arrived. That was just because they wanted to see all the rooms to preserve the scene. After all, the culprit who had killed 6 people was wandering about the mansion. The Ashurmia family right now, the mansion that should have been their home, was now a danger zone that an unknown murderer could enter and leave at will.
Danger zone?
I was gonna do that! Like 5 seconds, I was gonna do that!
After all, it's a huge mansion. There are plenty of blind spots and dark places, and it's too vast to guarantee absolute safety with the number of people. It's too vast to guarantee absolute safety with this number of people. Relatively speaking, the guest house was much smaller. It had 2 above-ground stories. Something like 10 or so rooms. Apparently, it had originally been constructed to serve as a small hotel. It's part of the plan to turn this island into a resort. So it was easier to know what was going on everywhere inside of it, and it was easier to keep safe. It made a good place to hold up in. Also, it was extremely unlikely that this mass murder of 6 people was a game. After all, the culprit had proclaimed so in the letter. I heard that a Western-style envelope with the family crest, just like the one Maria claimed to have received from Beatrice yesterday, had been found in the boiler room where grandfather's corpse had been discovered. This is what the letter said. So that there will be no misunderstandings. The game I seek is for everyone to try and solve the riddle of the epitaph. Not for you to try and catch me. If you don't solve the riddle, the pitiful sacrifices will further increase in number. It'd be wiser to spend your time solving the epitaph instead of searching for me. If no one can solve the riddle, no one will survive. If a person appears who can miraculously solve it, I will give them all the gold of the Golden Land, the Ashurmia family headship, and all of my power. I was the one who succeeded the Ashurmia family headship after Kinzo-sama. I look forward to seeing who will succeed to the headship after me. The Golden Witch, Beatrice. The riddle of the epitaph was that thing. That strange epitaph written by the portrait of the witch on display in the hall of the mansion. Grandfather was the one who had written it. And the person who solved it would supposedly be given the inheritance or the hidden gold or something like that. Ever since it was first put on display there several years ago. The relatives had secretly been trying to solve the riddle, but saying that on the surface that the whole idea was silly. However, up until today, no one had solved it. We were once again being urged to solve this unintelligible riddle. And this time, we were faced with the threat that we'd all be killed if we didn't solve it. If that wasn't a game, what else could it be? The bold opinion that we should search the premises for the culprit did come up once. However, there was a good chance they were armed. There might not just be one of them. And, while they may have been able to kill more than 6 people, they had stopped at 6. The opinion that won out in the end was that we should avoid needlessly antagonizing the culprit, and hole up in a safe place while we waited for the police to arrive. After the adults carefully checked that the doors and windows in the guest house were locked, they set up camp in the lobby. As they loaded their guns to distract themselves from the tension, their expressions show that they were already fatigued from this long day, which had still barely begun. There was nothing for me to do. Now, all I could do was be taught how to use a gun. Prepare for the off chance of something happening that led to an excess of guns. That's fine. Just obediently stay there, me and the rest of you. Six people in the beginning again. And this time, it's grandfather and all the servants put together.
Most likely. That child has carefully studied your moves from the last game, and has made an optimal move by taking the pieces you are most likely to suspect from the start.
That makes sense. That was true both last time and the time before that. The servants, who knew everything about the mansion and who were walked around with keys, always fall into the most suspicious category of people. A good example is in the last game would be Jessica's closed room. But only except that the servant was the culprit. That wouldn't have even been a closed room.
And so, that child went straight for them. Probably to block off a method of escape you'd be likely to attempt sooner or later.
Beat already proclaimed and read that there are no more than 18 people on this island. In other words, it's time to give up on that. Now I've got to suspect one of the 18.
That child will probably come at you by stealing the pieces for all the 18, while also making an appearance as a 19th person who shouldn't exist. For then you would be forced to accept that your opponent is a witch. After all, now that the intimidation approach has failed, trying to force you to surrender by showing you magic, the only remaining option is a frontal attack.
Perfect. Bluffing won't work anymore.
Be careful. Deception is what witches are best at. No matter what your opponent says or shows you, it will not be able to threaten the truth that you believe in. Don't forget that.
Sure. So I'd fall for the same moves over and over. Come on out, Beatrice. Let's get started!
I'm already seated at the table of the contest. And my turn is already complete.
Do you think we would end up having Madam as our foe? This will not be easy, milady. Our moves will be read thoroughly.
I care not. By now, teachers' moves are all old-fashioned classics. There is nothing to fear.
So just what moves can you make beyond the classics I taught you? I look forward to seeing Beatrice.
You okay with this, battler? Can someone who denies witches really accept a witch as a strategist?
Your stupid provocation is pointless. This is my advisor. No, my second. Doesn't change one bit. This is a fistfight between you and me.
I understand. One as wobbly as yourself probably needs training wheels on his bicycle. Do as you like. Come, let us begin. It's your turn.
Let's begin with the reconstruction of the crime scene. Virgilia, quickly please!
The first corpse discovered was Shannon's. She was found in the parlor on the first floor of the mansion. The door and windows were locked, and a closed room was established.
Beato, I need some details. Let's reconfirm the definition of a closed room.
Indeed. The term closed room refers to a room when the inside and the outside are completely cut off from each other. Naturally, it will be impossible to even affect things across that boundary line, much less enter or escape across it. This includes an all-inclusive denial of the existence of hidden doors, as well as all possibility of intervention from the outside.
Here, really quickly, someone's done the name of the song. It is Dancing Pipe.
I'm gonna look this one up later.
We will provide it for
you.
you.
We will send you it.
Oh, thank you very much.
They aren't doing it out of the kindness, they're doing it so you don't get spoiled.
I know, but thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Henceforth, this shall be referred to as Beatrice's closed room definition. Patent pending.
Let's focus in a bit. How do you define all possibility of intervention from outside?
I refer to all types of direct intervention from the outside, such as using a fishing line or a long, thin rod. In conclusion, there are no gaps in the doors and windows through which such tricks will work.
I wonder about that. Even if there wasn't a gap, you should be able to interfere with radio waves. Like with the remote control, right?
Very well. I'll add to this definition that interference due to radio waves and electric and related methods of remote control shall be impossible.
Also, there's also an extension telephone in the parlor. A device connected to that wouldn't count as remote control, right?
The phones are already unusable, are they not? Whatever. I'll include that too. All direct and indirect methods of interfering with the inside of the closed room from the outside of the room are impossible. There.
What about a voice or a knock? Those should be able to interfere from the outside without someone entering this room, right?
Even though it's a closed room, it probably isn't impossible for someone to knock or call out. The closed room definition does not cover whether transmission of intent across the boundary is possible or not.
In other words, you can't make it so your definition includes the blockage of all methods of communication with the outside.
That is indeed the case.
Understood. So, Shan's parlor satisfies Beatrice's closed room definition, right?
Correct.
Closed room definition, understood. Continue, Virgilia.
Up. Yes. Shannon's corpse was in possession of one master key. The relatives who discovered her collected this.
Beata, repeat it. How many master keys this time?
The same as last time. There are 5, one for each servant.
This still isn't a closed room. There's still 4 master keys left. Means that after Shan was murdered, one of the other 4 keys locked it.
Correct. And it wasn't only a master key that was found.
Yes. Alongside the corpse there was a western envelope with the family crest. Instead of a letter, the key to a guest room on the 2nd floor was inside it.
Key to the 2nd floor guest room. The only key other than the master key that can open the door to the 2nd floor guest room. Is that definition correct?
Indeed, there is no problem. And unlike the master keys, only one of those exists.
In other words, apart from the 5 master keys, there will be only one key that can unlock a certain room.
In other words, this is a message telling them to go to the 2nd floor guest room next. The adults moved into the 2nd floor guest room, right?
Yes. The door to the second floor guest room was locked and a magic circle was drawn on it. The relatives unlocked it with the key they had found near Shannon's corpse. Inside, Kumasawa's corpse was discovered. It was a closed room. One that satisfied Beatrice's closed room definition. Kumasawa was in possession of one master key. The relatives collected this. And like in Shannon's case, there was a Western envelope discovered alongside her. Inside was the key to the third floor waiting room. The relatives moved to the third floor waiting room.
There's a magic circle on the door to the third floor waiting room, and that door was locked?
Yes. Inside the room, Goda's corpse was discovered. The room was a closed room, one that satisfied Beatrice's closed room definition. Goda was in possession of one master key. The relatives collected this. And like up until now, a Western envelope with the family seal was discovered. Inside of which was the key to the second floor VIP room. The relatives moved to the second floor VIP room.
Now, what's going on here? What are you planning?
There's no need to glare, is there? It may be a closed room, but there are still multiple master keys that can open it, correct? And besides the master keys, I'm giving you keys specific to each room.
I don't like where this is going. But I'm starting to see how it'll turn out. So it continues like this for all 6 people?
Yes, that is correct. Inside the second floor VIP room, Genji's corpse was discovered. One master key was collected. The key to the underground boiler room was discovered. They moved to the underground boiler room. Inside the underground boiler room, Kinzo's corpse was discovered. The key to the chapel was discovered. They moved to the chapel. Inside the chapel, Canon's corpse was discovered. One master key was collected. The key to the first floor parlor was discovered. With this, our reconstruction of how all 6 corpses were discovered is complete.
An addendum. Along with the key to the chapel, a letter was enclosed in the western envelope found near Kinzo's corpse. The contents of the letter were as you saw. It further urged the relatives to solve the riddle of the epitaph.
In that case, what's going on? If the last place where Cannon was had the key to the very first room, the parlor where Shannon was, it makes 6 closed rooms all tied together, right?
That is correct. The 6 closed rooms are all tied together. The keys to unlock each one are all shut up inside the next room. In other words, the 6 closed rooms form one massive closed room. And all of the master keys, as well as the individual room keys, are shut up inside it. Furthermore, all of the doors and windows in the 6 rooms are normal. No device exists which can lock them without a key such as an auto lock. What do you think? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Once again, milady, that is not dignified.
Neither was your mustache.
When Runaway rebuked her,
Yeah.
Beatrice stuck her tongue at him without showing any signs of shame.
Sorry. Playing with Battler just puts me in such a good mood. So, Battler, what do you think of my move? If you can't think of anything in particular, I wouldn't mind showing you how I made the goats carry the corpses. And seal all of the rooms with magic, okay?
Do what you want. Listen respectfully to this magic theory that you claim is true. However, I can claim my human theory, even though it's completely different from yours, without any interference from your claim. In other words, there's no need for me to pay attention to your bullshit! Go ahead and show me how you can lock the door with your multicolored magic simply by waving your magic staff. Like those guys with their toad oil and all-purpose kitchen knives. Regalia, let's reconstruct the crime scene. Search for a weakness. Were they all definitely dead? If one of them is just playing dead, this isn't a closed room at all. Regalia, you are needed.
Typing.
Nanjo confirmed that all of them were dead. However, due to the devil's proof, it is impossible to deny the possibility of a wrong diagnosis. In other words, that child cannot make the likelihood that Nanjo overlooked them being alive equal to 0.
Here it is. That devil's proof. But there exists a sword that can carve that up.
What's up with them? Looks like they're having a good time, leaving me out of the discussion. I'm his opponent, am I not? I'm not jealous. It's not like I don't want him to argue with me. Doesn't he have any time to spare from me?
Fundamentally speaking, communication with one's opponent is not necessary to the act of competing in chess. And yes, madam, you are very, very jealous. Every time you've communicated with him outside of making your moves, you've used that opportunity to confuse him. Perhaps this is the result of him not wanting to be led astray.
For some reason, I don't like it.
You are challenging him to a chess match, are you not?
That's true, but... Ugh. Baka.
Beatrice puffed out her cheeks as though to say, I don't know why, but I don't like it.
Milady, your jealousy is showing.
Because the police have not yet arrived at the crime scene, the human side's ability to inspect the scene is limited. For a strict confirmation of death, I recommend that you have that child repeat it in red.
Okay, that's where I'll strike. Repeat it! The 6 victims are all dead!
Milady, he has told you to repeat something in red, has he not?
Hey, enough lazing around! Do you refuse to repeat it? This is where our battle starts.
What?
Huh?
Don't you have to go ow?
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
You okay, Doc?
Sorry, my dog went crazy because my sister was trying to do her bedtime ritual of looking for all the dogs again.
Seek a dog.
No, just Remus being a dipwad again. At least he didn't bite my thigh. Again. It was on accident, and it really hurt.
I got you, don't
What? Sorry, that's fine, I'll answer. Kinzo, Genji, Shannon, Kanon, Goda, and Kumasawa, these 6 are all dead.
Why are you so out of it? Okay. So I've already got one out of you. Start by denying the classic trick where the victims are playing dead.
I won't go easy on you anymore. Come at me how you like. Don't read into that. I'll slice them slantwise one after another.
Then repeat this. No one is hiding in any of the 6 rooms. See, deny the existence of people who we weren't aware of.
I'll answer. There is no one hiding in the 6 rooms.
Okay. Now I'm sure it's only the 6 of them. Now I'm sure it's only the 6 of them in the can, and they aren't pretending to be dead.
What will you do? What will you do? As if a human could manage anything by now. Obediently kneel to the fact that I can control locks at will with my wonderful magic, okay?
Quit babbling. Repeat this too. The 6 deaths were instant deaths.
Instant deaths? Oh, what do you mean by that?
It means there's a possibility that a single victim on the verge of death managed to escape into the room. And after locking it from the inside to create a closed room, they passed away.
A classic close-the-room murder trick. When requiring that the victim receive a fatal wound, and then die later. It is possible for a closed room to be constructed unexpectedly if the victim's pulls up inside the room to escape the murder. It then dies after locking the door.
In order to deny that possibility, you will need to proclaim that the 6 died instantly with the red truth.
You okay, Gun?
Okay.
Sorry, that was my mom just calling to me to make sure I go to bed in a bit so that way I don't fight her in the morning when we wake up.
Don't worry, we'll wrap this up soon. No problems.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problems at all.
Ow.
You good, Chief?
I'm peachy!
Very well. I'll slay you with my red treasured sword. The 6 died instantly. By died instantly, I mean the targets instantly became incapable of action after being attacked. Well, it might still have taken him several seconds or minutes to die in the complete sense of the word. But regardless, it was completely impossible for them to take any actions of their own will. In that sense, I can confirm that they suffered instant deaths.
Up until this point, I've just been checking for classic tricks. Now when our showdowns over the closed rooms really starts, okay? Let's say sharts for a second. If the culprit isn't on the inside, they're on the outside. So they somehow killed from outside the rooms.
Have you lost your mind? After all, a closed room is a murder impossible from the outside, right? That's why only a magical murder would be possible. Simple as that.
No, that's wrong. The right approach is a murder really happened equals it isn't a closed room. No matter how much you try and trick me, this definitely isn't a closed room. It's a sham that only looks like one.
However, Battle-sama, only the victims are inside the rooms. And no other people exist inside the rooms. And by Milady's closed room definition, remote murders from outside the room have been clearly denied, have they not?
Wait. The definition of remote murders is pretty broad, right? It's not just about pulling a fishing line from outside the room and strangling the victim inside the room. For example, a trap would make for an excellent remote murder.
A trap. Oh, and what might that be?
Just as an example, let's say they were expected to enter rooms that someone had picked out beforehand. Unlock the doors from the inside to create the closed rooms themselves. A trap was set up in those rooms they didn't know about. A trap would you okay? And that's what killed him. How's that?
Trap.
Doesn't contradict anything.
There are no problems. It corresponds to the existing state.
There are no problems on our side either. It does not conflict with Milady's closed room definition.
What's with that stupid reasoning? Nothing suspicious was found in any of the rooms, right? What form did that trap have? Where was it hidden and how did it operate? Explain that for all 6 of them. In the parlor, the guest room, the waiting room, the VIP room, the boiler room, and the chapel. Well, you can't, can you?
Decline refutation! There's no need for me to explain that. But even so, it doesn't damage my claim.
Sorry about that.
What?
What did you say?
Beatrice, it's a devil's proof. The fact that he cannot explain the nature of the trap does not in itself deny the existence of such a trap.
Well done. Well overbearing. A wonderful move.
This guy's getting completely used to this.
Check. You're the murder trap X that we couldn't find. It'd be possible to establish this closed room murder.
I'll kill that check with the red truth. The 6 were not killed by traps.
And the definition of a trap?
Oh. That's it. Something that activates when a victim triggers it on their own. Oh, and that's not all. It also includes things activated by remote control or by a timer. Everything of that sort.
So, it refers to all arrangements that could carry out a murder without a direct participation of the one who planned it out. Perhaps we might sum it up that way.
How's that? I struck back. As if I'd let a human crush this closed room. Ugh.
You're looking pretty frantic to win, too.
What? What do you mean?
You're frantically fighting to make me accept your existence. Until then I thought I was just being toyed around with by you one-sidedly. But that's not actually true. You're also frantically resisting my counters, fighting to show that you exist. Now, I finally feel that it's true. This isn't torture inflicted on me, over whether I'll surrender or not. This is a fight between you and me on even footing. Okay. Now it's starting to get interesting, isn't it? All 6 died in closed rooms and no outsiders were inside. And there was no meddling from the outside, and also no traps. Up until now, I'd probably start suspecting that it had been the work of magic. If you decided to show off some bizarre magic at that moment, I might have even surrendered. It's that favorite strategy of yours. You just have all my moves, and at the moment I've exhausted all the options and fallen to my knees. When my heart's barriers are at their weakest. Shout some strange magic to take the game all at once.
That short temper is something this child has always had. Along with a bad habit of rushing things when victory is in sight.
After all, my lady cannot stand putting off a match.
Hey, shut up, shut up! Ugh. It's Battler's turn, right? I finished off that trap piece you advanced. What should I repeat next? Show me what you've got.
Right! Now that even traps have been defeated, looks like a perfect closed room murder at a glance. That's why I'll spin the chessboard around right now.
Here it comes, that special technique of yours. Ugh. How exactly are you going to spin what around? Try showing me!
Yeah. I'll show you. I don't need to think about how 6 people could be killed inside closed rooms from the outside. It's useless. It's all useless. That's right. The question isn't how you can kill from outside the rooms. The point is how they died inside the rooms, making them closed rooms. That's it. This is the answer! If you assume that one of the 6 victims was the culprit, this closed room can be explained extremely easily.
What? Ridiculous. I believe I clearly said and read that the 6 of them were dead.
Oh, there were 6 deaths. 5 victims who got killed. But if you assume that the other person committed suicide, you can destroy this closed room.
Certainly. If the culprit locked themselves in the final closed room and threw away their own life, this closed room chain would be established.
The suicide of the culprit. Normally it would be an unthinkable move, but the argument that the unthinkable cannot exist cannot be used. And he has no responsibility to demonstrate a motive. A truly powerful move which can only be used in a chess match against a witch.
Well, one cannot be certain that there was no motive. For example, it has been announced that Kenzo only had a short time left to live. Perhaps he did not regret losing his short remaining life, and used his own death to send a message. It might be possible to attach such a motive. My lady, it is our turn.
Indeed. To think you'd trample even the dignity of the dead to create a culprit. What a heartless, cold-blooded man.
I said the dead as the culprit. This worse than inhuman move is one he used to attack Cannon-kun in the last game. Even though the games are different, I'm taking a shot back at you with this move. As a tribute to Cannon-kun for that time. Just now, I freed that Cannon-kun from his regrets.
You have no responsibility to hold back here. You should try to confirm that suicide wasn't the cause of any of their deaths. I recommend that you have that child repeat it in red.
Right. But Susan's a naive word that won't corner her. Beato, this'll stop you. Repetition requested. The 6 deaths were all homicides.
That is painful.
Oh, what the fuck? Huh? What's wrong? All 6 of them were killed, right? I'm confirming that simple premise we've had from the very beginning, right? Can you repeat it?
I refuse to repeat it. There's no reason in particular.
You realize I'm refusing to repeat this part is the same as resigning, right? Checkmate!
Beato is in one dilly of a pickle.
One of the 6 was the culprit, and they plan to commit suicide after constructing the closed room. That's all.
Wait. No. I'll say it. I'll say it. I'll use the red like you want. None of the 6 committed suicide. How's that? Are you satisfied? I've struck back. I've struck back.
What the hell? So you can say it. But that's strange. Why are you so panicky?
It's your imagination. This time, even I'm feeling the pressure. That's right, I don't have any leeway. Pay it no mind.
The line you asked that child to repeat has been altered. Do not be fooled.
It seems not to have worked, milady.
That's right! She didn't say the 6 deaths were all homicides. She didn't say none of the 6 committed suicide. It means that one of them wasn't killed by someone else and didn't commit suicide. Ah. I've got it! I've got it! This is the truth! Culprit X, who was hiding among the 6, murdered the other 5 and then set up a closed room. After they plan to escape from it or hide in the rooms in some method. However, they got in an accident. The culprit died from an accident they hadn't expected, setting up a closed room murder that they hadn't even desired. Now it's over, Beatrice. Checkmate!
Damn it! Did you think I'd be cornered by something like that? I'd never announce my resignation over something like that. I'll slice up that foolish checkmate with my treasured red sword over and over again. None of the 6 died in an accidental.
My apologies. You request some time to strategize. Please allow us a brief postponement on this matter.
It's
Milady,
a fair request.
It smells like bitch in here!
Perhaps you should accept it.
Sure, take a break. I've been giving those a lot lately. Now it's your turn to take one.
Thank you very much. Come, my lady. This way. And let us quietly count to 100 inside our heads. My lady, perhaps you've drank too much dumb bitch juice.
Renove quickly covered Beato's mouth with his hand as she grew thoroughly panicked and agitated, suspending the game. He pulled Beato away, supposedly to hold a strategic conference.
Does this smell like chloroform to you, my lady?
Damn! That demon butler. When Beato got all hot, I had a perfect chance to corner her. Beato normally acted like she was graceful and above it all, but she actually had a really short temper and got mad easily. Her usual intellect had less of a voice when she got excited.
Renove certainly is thinking clearly. He probably gave your opponent some time to cool down. That child grew too stubborn trying to remove your check, and was about to easily let several large pieces go. After all, the first twilight is only a skirmish. The correct move at the time would have been to withdraw.
So, what does it mean? Did I reach checkmate or didn't I?
That child was about to say something in red. You probably wouldn't have reached checkmate yet. But most likely, you can expect our opponents to resign once they've cooled their heads.
You're joking. Even though she hates losing that much?
Yes. In a losing battle, it is essential to withdraw your troops as soon as possible to try and minimize your losses. The difficult part is gauging whether it's a losing battle or not. Your opponent's butler seems to have calmly made that decision.
Oh, well. I know that she managed to escape by a hair's breadth. Looks like getting checkmate and delivering the final blow won't be that easy for me.
However, you should count this as your victory. It seems they barely managed to prevent a large loss. But they certainly sustained considerable damage. The scale of that child's panic ought to make the depths of that wound quite clear to you.
Seriously. I feel like she'd start crying if I bullied her anymore. As we talked, Renove returned with Beata, who wore a meek expression. Didn't yet have her usual bold smile. But it looked like the blood wasn't rushing to her head anymore. Didn't mean to do that. Hey, it's your turn. You decide on your next move?
I resign. For now, I will let you have your victory.
Beato told me that frankly. You've taken a far-sighted view, as they're saying. If you want to laugh, then laugh. It was a bit of a killjoy, lost my desire to deliver the final blow. Well, now that you've resigned, that just means we're even. So my theory and yours can't deny each other. Should treat it more like a tie than a loss.
I don't need your disgusting sympathy. I'm telling you that I've lost this round. When you find a dog wretched and drenched in rain, you have a sudden urge to whack it with a stick or something.
Oh, all the time. Nope. I'm not you. Even though she ridiculed me horribly when I showed signs of defeat, this is the best she'd got when the tables had turned. I did feel that that was pretty cowardly of her. I decided to act with dignity as the victor and let it slide. Theodore resigned. It's the one result for his twilight. Beatrice couldn't counter my move of one of the 6 was the culprit. That person died in an accident. No, she probably could have countered it, but for some strategic reason, he admitted defeat instead. It looks like I'd won, and more like I let her slip away at the last second. In a chess match with a witch, battles can be fought solely with pieces known as X, which require no detailed explanation. Thanks to the devil's proof, I created as many strange fictions as I wanted and used them as fighters in our argument. That only works in a chess match with a witch. In the human world, you can't use such abstract theories to explain things. The first trial was a chain of 6 closed rooms. First twilight was it certainly may have been possible for a human. Beata wasn't able to deny all possibilities. However, I don't have a clue who committed the crime, or why, or how they actually did it. It may seem strange to hear me say this after I won. For some reason, I felt like I'd been even more satisfied. If Beatrice had been able to say definitively that it was impossible for humans. I managed to avoid specifics using an abstract piece called X. But I couldn't deny the sense that some eerie intent that must never be known was filling up this entire mansion. Umineko in the crow.
That's where we'll cut it off for tonight.
That is where we'll be ending it for tonight. And we will be starting the discussion section right now.
Right now?
Well, I mean, yeah. That's how it usually ends. That being said, hey, if you don't feel like sticking around, it's totally fine, you know? But hey, if you want to hear us talk about theories and shit, that's cool too. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, etc., 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 etc.
Oh, Bone is
Subscribe so we can hear Orange say, you know, like, yeah.
Bone apparently is taking his time to bleed the lizard, so I guess I'll go ahead and start. I feel like we've actually gotten a lot of information in this chapter.
A lot of information about a certain family member's. Alright, I'm done.
A certain family member's what?
Don't.
Done. We're done with the joke. It's done.
No more penis.
All I said was these nuts on stream and no one paid attention to it.
It was funny while it lasted.
Anyways, fuck. I guess my question was actually more directed at Bone. I wanted to ask him why he thought necessarily that Battler was, I guess like just throwing shit against the wall, and just felt like his assumption about the technique or what Battler had said at the beginning was maybe invalid or whatever.
I feel like part of that is because if you're trying to go ahead and prove your argument, sometimes you're just willing to BS your way to actually winning. Or at least start stretching out as much as things possible to where it feels or sounds like you're just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Alright. That being stated, I do have a question for you, Con. How do you feel about the, what was it called? Bronze tube thing?
The gremlins in the bronze tube?
Not even gremlins in the bronze tube. What was it called again, Orange? Can you give me the name?
The Schrodinger's cat?
Not Schrodinger's
The
cat.
brawn tube.
Yeah, the brawn tube.
It's actually a pretty interesting way to go ahead and think of this. Of course, to explain that, it would pretty much be
That's
the same
some
thing
hot
as a magic
snackle.
theory and a scientific theory being placed next to one another. Which is essentially, yeah, what is going on here, I guess. Well, it's the same idea of both of us have this opinion, or at least these certain theories, and neither one can be proven until the truth comes to light.
Alright.
It's the same thing that strives on most Twitter arguments.
I'm back.
Oh, okay. So, I guess now would probably be a good time to ask that. Bone, I had a specific question for you. Why did you think that when Battler had stated his theory about let's say the battlefield, and he stated, there is no what would you call it? There is no evidence that what had happened took place. Thus, you can state that it did not.
It was going, oh, what the deal is with this anime bullshit I'm seeing? It seemed like he was reacting to it, so it's like, it seems like he saw it.
Correction.
Did he not see the anime battle?
No, the Battler in the metaverse. The Battler that we've seen currently with Beatrice and Ronove is the one who saw all of it.
Yeah, so I just figured, oh, well, I thought that counted.
Well, I mean, like,
I think we've already established that these two Battlers have two different perspectives.
yeah.
And you yourself actually admitted to them having perspectives that are now also different.
I mean, I suggested it, but then I thought that the normal Battler saw the goat people, and like Kenzo getting eaten by the goat people.
That was the endgame scenario where that happened. That was completely different.
So I figured that, I guess I was wrong.
What happened in that particular chapter doesn't apply to this current Battler.
Anyway, that's my reasoning. I just figured, that disproves the fact that they both can't. I thought that throughout this entire thing, the normal Battler was not going to see any actual magic. I didn't think that real life Battler, non-Tea Party Battler was ever going to see any magic, but then...
So I'm going to be sharing a bit of extra information. Not even extra information, just something that's completely outside of the realm of the story. A little bit.
Alright.
Originally, this episode was going to be significantly harder, and then they rewrote it to make it much easier. The concepts that are in this can be applied universally to your logic and reasoning in how you solve Umineko.
And I can see that. In this case, the entire chapter is essentially like a giant brawn tube.
No, I'm saying universally as in the entire series.
So what Orange is stating is that is that all basically the rules that we have stated all apply to at least in terms of most of the rules
every episode.
Yeah, every episode.
Alright. Yeah, I mean that kind of enforces my idea, I guess, but I guess we're not. I don't know.
It enforces both their ideas and denies them both at the same time.
Anyway, so that's the reason. But then you said, oh no, what Tea Party Battler isn't necessarily the same as Chess Piece Battler, so I just Tea Party Battler can be an unreliable narrator, I guess.
Well, what do you mean Tea Party?
Wait, where?
Well, he's in the Tea Party arguing with her, right?
Well, I mean,
Meta Battler.
To be fair, if Meta Battler sees Beatrice and he's trying to disprove her existence, wouldn't just seeing her already make him lose?
I don't know, man. I guess not. I'm giving my reason. That's like just
deniable
and
plausibility.
then you guys convince me. Oh no, it's like it's what he sees isn't necessarily true. It's
Well, I'm just picking your brain a bit, if I may,
Yeah.
just trying to see if you can, you know.
I mean, I guess I can't trust the meta battler's eyes. I guess. I don't even know if he exists.
I don't know. Do you exist? Do I exist?
Let's
Probably.
let's not get existential.
Let's not get into that level. It's just like.
But hey, I hope this gets.
Hey man, you open the door.
But hey, get
You
your
ever
no-
just
get your
really
noggins
look at your
jogging.
hands?
Yeah.
Anyway,
That being stated, I will now bow and let you guys go ahead and keep going.
Thank you. And thank you for the extra information. That actually does help out a lot. Also, just on a side note, I actually love the idea of gremlins inside of brawn tubes to make televisions work. I have never heard that before, and I love that idea in its entirety.
Yeah,
Gremlins was used as a concept for everything, including how certain planes were falling apart.
That I remember.
You remember that Russian cartoon?
Well, let's remember Umineko right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I did. I wrote something down that I kind of would like to go into a bit.
Shoot for it, man.
Alright, unless I've just not noticed, there seems to be very little solving of the epitaph. It seems like nobody's really trying to solve it. They're kind of more just focused on the murders and all that stuff. So I'm wondering if a lot of like the, oh, is this magic? If they're not magic, oh, these murders are happening. I wonder if that's to distract from the epitaph at all. If not, if not distract the characters, then distract the audience.
No, I feel like you're actually right. Like, the epitaph is itself just as the key to solving everything, and yet we've literally taken every possible road other than solving it.
I also noticed, I'm also wondering if there's been like a billion hints that like pass by our noses because of misdirection.
That could also be a possibility, but at this point it's all conjecture. I've been thinking that maybe the epitaph is less of a literal one and more of a metaphorical and figurative one. Sorry about that, my mom just sent me a text and she was asking me about whether or not I could smell dog poop. Damn it.
Cool. Anyway.
Well, most people can, they just prefer not to.
Man, why is it whenever I try to sound cool, I always somehow make myself seem dorkier than usual?
It tends to happen.
I simply don't say things sometimes. It's very beneficial to
Yes,
my
I
personal
try to
standing.
hide things. Like hiding information that leads to other information.
Ugh. Learn to shut my trap.
Not unlike with how I handle
It's like-
Umineko, I choose what I say very carefully.
It's like Beatrice learning, I can't say that one thing, it might lead me down to a different situation.
Right when you said, sorry, go ahead.
What I'm basically saying is Beatrice almost revealed what she was about to say was actually going to solve Battler's problem, but Rove basically stopped her right when she was about to say it.
Yeah, Orange. Funny enough, you said I simply don't say, and then it cut you off like that last part. Your mic cut you off at that very last part.
Look, it's picking up on the other end just fine. It's just Discord being a bench.
So if I may cut in real quick, I did find it funny that no one noticed that he said Vergalia the first time that character showed up.
No.
No, we noticed. We just tried to not acknowledge. I just tried to not.
No, it was the very first time. It was a couple sessions ago, and no one said anything.
It's also the name of the chapter, so I assumed it had something to do with her.
Yeah.
I mean the first time at the beginning of this
No, yeah,
episode.
like at the very beginning of the episode, I said Vergilia's name by accident. But
Oh, what was the context? No, wait.
He
Did
said,
you
"Don't
say
look
it
up
twice?
Vergalia's dress on Google," or something like that. It was
Okay,
related
yeah,
to the
I didn't
dress,
hear
'cause
that.
Apparently, that dress is in a museum with
Yes,
the visual novel as well.
Vergilia's dress is real, and you can go see it at a museum.
So wait, you fucked up her name
in a museum.
Germany. I think it's in a German museum.
It's in Germany, yeah.
Anyways.
Oren, did you fuck up saying her name twice then?
Yep.
Did you?
I
Damn.
find it hard to disassociate a character that just is like, I would have a name right now, And like I already know the name.
Yeah, it's a little hard when this is episode 3 and we go through the rest of the fucking 6 or 7 more episodes calling her by her name.
To be fair,
like
though,
what we call her, I guess.
Also, there was a chapter that was flat out her name.
To be fair, though, her name is Virgilia, right?
Virgilia.
Like the arc.
Virgilia.
Virgilia.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say Virgil.
Would that essentially mean that Dante? Fuck. Would that mean Battler is Dante in this point?
Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
In a metaphorical sense, not in a literal sense.
Well, of course not literal, but
Well, if you consider the dialogue, perhaps that's how Virgilia views herself.
Yeah.
Sort of as someone guiding him to at least some sort of paradise or paradiso.
I'm not familiar enough with Dante's Inferno.
I am, but yeah, that's somewhat similar to that, but not exactly.
I know about the Divine Comedy. I played Bayonetta too.
Hell, Purgatorio, and then Paradiso in order to find his love, Beatrice.
I'm aware of the very basic, broad cliff notes.
Oh yeah, her name was Beatrice.
Mm-hmm.
That is some interesting symbolism.
Maybe instead of the metaverse, we could refer to this as Purgatorio instead.
The meta world is the most accepted terminology.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Just call the meta world?
Hmm?
Oh, okay.
That's why in Golden Fantasia they are called meta supers, because you activate meta mode and do a meta super.
I've been mainly just calling it like the tea party place.
I just called it the tea room.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things you can call it, but
meta.
like I'm just saying like the most commonly to the terminology is the meta.
Like it's probably that mansion. Like it's probably a place at that other mansion.
Anyway. Something I also noticed. Back with the adults, they've literally been up all night discussing the potentials and trying to plan ahead for everything. That means they're running on 24 hours of no sleep. That can't be good.
I mean, they don't seem tired particularly. Like, have they gotten sleep, or have they been up for 24 hours?
It's been said, and we can infer that they've literally been up all night just talking about Beatrice and talking about all of this.
They have in fact been up all night.
So that means they've been up for 24 hours. That
seems pretty lucid.
That can't be good. I think that may be something that we can go ahead and just stick a pin in, because I feel like that's going to be important later on. Especially if the other Twilights come around.
I mean, they all, like, 4 of them have guns. There's probably gonna be a Mexican standoff.
Yeah, but lack of sleep plus instigation plus paranoia?
I'm not crazy, you're crazy, bang.
Yeah, I think we all know what can happen with that. Although, I do have to go ahead and admit that Battler's explanation of the locked room puzzle is pretty much the most accurate. Of course, the one that I was thinking somehow was that all 5 of them, just as a non-magical answer, they all entered into the separate rooms with the other keys, committed suicide, and died in the rooms while they were locked.
Unfortunately, that red wording of that basically canceled that progress fine.
I know. That was what I was thinking until Beatrice said that they all didn't die of suicides. Making it a homicide, though, would go ahead and mean that Battler's theory would be a lot more correct than mine.
What if they just willingly died to an exterior force?
Would that be suicide?
If you willingly die to an exterior force, then that technically counts as an assisted suicide.
But they never said that you couldn't do assisted suicide.
That is true, but
That
I think
seems like a pedantic
suicide,
thing.
so,
It's like I mean they're looking for loopholes. It's like maybe one person asked another person to kill them. Then it's like, is that considered murder to the rules?
That's considered assisted suicide.
Yeah, and does that count as a suicide, like in the broad term or in the specific term? Does it by the rules of red?
I don't know.
Hold up, I'm disassociating a little bit. What are you asking for clarification on?
Is assisted. I'm wondering if assisted suicide would count as a suicide in the terms of that red.
AC, we need red text on that.
Well, what I would say is, what is said is the red truth is 100% true, and that's all I can really say.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if assisted suicide would count as a loophole.
What I'm saying is, interpret the truth however you will.
Oh yeah, I'm not asking you to answer it.
That is something I want to could go ahead and just stick a pin in that to you, because that's pretty damn good. Hell, for that matter, we don't even know if there's more than one culprit in this.
They could have easily knocked them out, then killed them.
Or it could have just easily been like something out of Danganronpa, where there was more than one killer and an accomplice to it.
Hopefully nobody was planning to play Danganronpa.
Fuck! Does that count as a spoiler?
No, we're all going through it.
I mean, unless you know something about it that you shouldn't.
I mean, we don't know if somebody in the future might watch this, or somebody
Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Josh, you can just cut
Don't
out the
worry
entire
about it.
section anyway.
Also, it's
Not
vague enough
worried.
that you don't know who did exactly.
I will also go ahead and admit it's actually pretty interesting that all the corpses were placed in the areas where they were most at peace or most comfortable with, either in life or during their daily routine. Like Shannon with the roses, Kennen in the chapel, Genji right next to in the VIP room.
Wait, I forgot to. I kind of zoned out whenever we were looking through the death biographies. How exactly? What was the wound on Kennen, Shannon, and Genji?
Stab.
Was it okay? It was a stab wound.
It was described to be like a spear and could either be a spear-like or gunshot-like wound.
Okay, because like Genji, what we saw was just him putting his hand on them, right?
Yeah, and then there was like a bloom of flower of crescent blood, and then they just bled.
Okay, and we're not sure if they were like stabbed posthumously or if that was still the death blow.
I don't know. I'm not that good at mysteries.
I'm just putting things on the table.
Other than that, I really can't think of much else to discuss. And everything else here was pretty straightforward.
I'm good.
Alright, if we have nothing else to talk about, then I guess we're done for now. Alright, well, thank you all for coming, everybody. I imagine us in the inner circle, quote unquote, will be having our personal discussion after this. But other than that, thank you all and have a nice day. Also, shout out to all of the obvious FBI agents who are definitely in the user list in the stream chat right now, like Hot Girl from Cali, whose account was made 3 days ago.
Yeah, that seems suspicious.
Hey, bot buddies.
I'm just saying, they're all clearly like phishing accounts.
Yeah, they're trying to get the people who are in visual novel crowd.
Oh boy! All right.
I mean,
Just
it
a
is
few
a visual
thousands
novel
at
crowd.
best.
Let's look at Higurashi. That's just
Wait, that means
that's
there's
just a
actually
pot
somebody
of
taking the time to specifically.
Well, aren't you glad we've already gotten past your sus-ass lines, Orange?
Mind if I go ahead and say one line on that bot being here?
Sure, whatever you're gonna say.
That's dumb as shit, and they should get a life.
I mean, they're a robot. They're like auto-searching for channels. Like, they're not specifically being planted, I think.
Can one obtain life as an AI?
Well, that's still dumb as shit, and they should get a life.
Alright, see y'all later, everybody.
Yeah, but please, Rokenjima, would you go to the fight room?
Damn it,